Hey everyone, this is Angela from Bake It With Love, and today we're making Panda Express Kung Pao chicken. And now, my husband is a Panda Express addict, so we work really hard on getting these recipes right. But this is one of my favorites. That and the sweet fire chicken that was just uploaded too, and I gotta tell you, it was a great week for me. My favorite meals. Well, my favorite Panda Express meals anyway. I love these dishes. So we're going to walk through the steps of coating our chicken and frying it up, as well as stir frying our vegetables and then combining it all for this super dish. So as you can see, we're starting to marinate our chicken in our cornstarch mixture, which is about a quarter cup of water. That's a pound of chicken that's been diced about 1/2 inch in size, small size, so it cooks fast. So like I said, a quarter cup of water, then a 1/2 teaspoon of salt, 1 egg, 1/3 cup of cornstarch, and a couple tablespoons, 2 tablespoons of vegetable oil. You're going to combine this, like you see, stirring here till your cornstarch mixture is nice and smooth and all your chicken is nicely coated and covered. And then you can refrigerate that for about an hour. And then we'll come back and do some other prep and get this started cooking. I'm going to mix my sauce here, which was a teaspoon of cooking wine or sherry, 2.5 tablespoons of soy sauce, as well as 1/3 cup of water, and then set that aside while I do all my vegetable prep. I'm going to cube all of my vegetables too, about 1 inch squares as much as possible. With the bell peppers, it's 1 inch flat square. But so those are ready and set aside. My wok is on high and I'm cooking off my chicken in batches. And because I'm going to cook it for a few minutes on the end, when I coat everything, you can see when I'm pulling this out and transferring it to a plate that it's still pretty pink. I'm just looking to get some nice golden edges that you see there on that. And then, yeah, transfer to a plate, start the next batch, and repeat as necessary until all of your chicken is cooked. So I'm showing this, I'm removing it to a plate. I'll show another batch that I'm doing, and then we'll skip forward to the vegetables. Now when I'm done here with the chicken, I leave my vegetable oil in the wok this time, and then I'm going to add another 1/2 tablespoon of vegetable oil before cooking my vegetables. And here I am adding the next batch of chicken. I'm using my fork to pull the chicken out of my cornstarch mixture so that most of the batter kind of drips off. And I'm trying not to splatter myself. Most of the time I'm pretty good, but every once in a while it just kind of rolls off the fork and splatters, and hopefully doesn't hit me. But yeah, do that carefully as best you can, because that wok oil is hot. So again, nice and brown here. I'm going to transfer it to a plate and keep going. I did 4 rounds of this before I was done. And then, like I said, we'll add a little bit more vegetable oil and start adding our vegetables. Now with some dishes, I like to add my vegetables in kind of staggered so that, like my onions cook a little bit longer or something like that. But in this case, the bell peppers and the zucchini I add at the same time. And I'm going to cook these for about 1 to 2 minutes, depending on how cooked you like your vegetables. Go with 1 if you like your zucchini nice and crisp, like I do, but no one else in the house does. So I cook this for about 2 minutes before moving on to the next step. So we're removing the vegetables from the wok, and then we're going to move on to making the sauce. I'm going to show the chili portion in real time so that you can kind of watch how quickly they will brown and not think that you did something wrong. Okay, they brown really quickly. I've got about 12 whole chilies in there because they're smaller ones. If you have bigger ones, you can use less, 6 to 9, depending on how spicy you like your stuff. If you've got chilies that are over 3 inches, I would use definitely that 6, 7 in there. So I've got the chilies. Once they're nice and browned, I add my cut green onions and my dry roasted peanuts. And then I've got a teaspoon each of garlic and ground ginger, fresh ground ginger, and crushed red bell pepper flakes. And you're just going to let that cook for about a minute, and then we're going to start adding our sauce. So right before I add my sauce, I added about a teaspoon of sesame seed oil, and then I added the sauce that we made earlier and set aside, and we're going to bring this to a boil next. And while you're waiting for this to come to a boil, we're going to make a little cornstarch slurry with a 1/2 tablespoon of cornstarch. There we are adding it, and a 1/2 tablespoon of water, cold water. And then you add that in once this comes to a boil, and it's going to start to thicken, and then we'll start adding everything back in. It doesn't take long. You're not looking for a really thick gravy-like thickening. You're just looking for a little bit of thickening that's going to really stick to everything that you put in here. And so I add my chicken back in first, and then I'll add my vegetables after my chicken's nicely coated, and I'll give it a good stir when I add the vegetables back in too. And then I'm going to let this just kind of cook for about 1 to 2 minutes, because remember that chicken was kind of pink when I pulled it out. So I want it to go ahead and finish cooking with all those wonderful flavors cooked in too. Now make sure not to overcook your chicken, so when you think it's ready, go ahead and pull a piece out, pull the biggest piece you can find and pull it apart to make sure that it's cooked all the way through, and then go ahead and start serving this up because it's ready to go. I hope you have some rice made or some chow mein to go with it. We did chow mein in the photo. And this is such a wonderful, wonderful dish with great flavor, and if you have kids and you need to pull those chili peppers out, do that before they see it. And I hope you get a chance to try this out really soon because it's a wonderful, wonderful dish that you're gonna love, I promise. Thank you for watching. I hope you liked the video. If you did, please remember to give it a big thumbs up and make sure to subscribe before you leave because we have lots of great stuff coming, great food, even better desserts because who doesn't love dessert? As always, we are so glad to have you here with us and we look forward to seeing you again soon.